Operator, can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Bah Ghoulie Show.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape! Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to a lonely lighthouse off the steaming jungle coast of French Guiana and a nightmare world of terror and violence as we bring you again, in response to hundreds of requests, 3 Skeleton Key, starring Vincent Price.
Picture this place. A gray tapering cylinder welded by iron rods and concrete to the key itself. A bare black rock, 150 feet long, maybe 40 wide. That's at low tide. At high tide, just the lighthouse, rising 110 feet straight up out of the ocean. And all about it, the churning water, gray-green, scum-dappled, warm as soup, and swarming with gigantic bat-like devilfish, great violet schools of Portuguese man-o'-war, and yes, sharks, the big ones, the 15-footers. And as if this weren't enough, there was a hot, dank, rotten-smelling wind that came at us day and night off the jungle swamps of the mainland. A wind that smelled like death. A wind that had smelled the slow and frightful death that came one night to this bare black rock. Set in the base of the light was a watertight bronze door, and in you went, and up. Yes, up and round, past the tanks of oil and the coils of rope, casks of wicks, racks of lanterns, sacks of spuds and cartons and cans, and up, round and round. Over the light storeroom was the food storeroom, and over the food storeroom was the bunk room where the 3 of us slept. And over the bunk room was the living and cooking room, and over the living and cooking room was the light. She was a beauty, big steel and bronze baby with the sun gleaming through the glass walls all about, bouncing blinding little beams off the big shining reflectors, glittering and refracting through her lenses, the whole gigantic bulk of her balanced like a ballerina on the glistening steel axle of her rotary mechanism. She was a sweetheart of a light. And at night she'd lie there on the stone deck of the gallery with her revolving smoothly and quietly over your head, easing her bright white eye 360 degrees around the horizon. You'd lie there watching to see that the feeders kept working, that everything ran right. And it wouldn't be bad, the other 2 fellows snoring in their sacks 2 levels down. You'd smoke your pipe to kill the stink of the wind, and it wouldn't be bad. About those other 2, Louis and Auguste. What a pair. Louis, he was head man, was a big fellow from the Basque country, black beard, little hard black eyes, and a pair of arms that I tell you, those arms were as big around as my legs. Yes, head man he was, and what word he let go was law. A silent fellow, and although I spent my first 2 weeks trying to strike up a real conversation, the most I could ever get out of him was...
Jean, I took up this profession because I don't like people. They want to talk too much. It's quiet work, light tending. Let's keep it that way. You're getting to be as bad as Auguste. I thought maybe for once they'd send me somebody who
That
could keep
was
his
Louis.
mouth shut.
When he accused me of becoming like Auguste, I quieted down, because Auguste was the talkingest man I'd ever met. The talkingest and the ugliest. He was hunchbacked, stood 4 feet high, had red hair and big blue eyes. It seems he'd been an actor in Paris.
Yes, indeed. Played in over 200 different productions, dear boy, at the Grand Guignol. Oh, but it was monstrous horrible, the way we used to scare the audiences. I was hated. Yes, they used to throw things and hiss and bare their teeth at me. Finally, it got too bad. I couldn't stand it any longer. I gave up the theater. My nerves, you understand. Yes, gave it up completely. I really did. Couldn't stand it any longer.
It all started one morning at 2:30. I was on watch, lying on the cool stone deck, pulling on my pipe, staring out at the blackness, the phosphorescent combers, and the big yellow stars, when out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something show up for a second, something the light had touched, far off. I waited for her to come around again, and when she did, there it was. Three-master, a big one, about a half-mile off and coming down out of the north-northwest, coming straight for us. You must understand, our light was where it was for a very good reason. Dangerous submerged reefs surrounded us and ships kept clear. But this one, this sailing vessel, was coming straight on. I went over to the gallery door and yelled, "Louis! Louis!" Couldn't understand it. I waited for the light to come around again.
What is it? Ship headed for the reefs! Coming right up!
I had the glasses out now. I couldn't read her name, but I could see her quite plainly. All sails set, the foam creaming away under her bow, her beautiful lines. A Dutch ship, I guessed her. But why didn't she turn? Every time it passed, our light hit her with the glare of day.
Ship? Where?
Northwest. The light will touch her in a moment.
Can't they see?
Look at her. She just keeps coming on.
Yeah, the squarehead.
What is it? What is it?
Watch northwest.
I know what it is.
Huh? What?
The Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman. We did a play about her once. Oh, what a performance. You ghastly galleon, hag-ridden, curse-driven, must on.
Shut up, will you? She's luffing.
Yes.
Sloppy way to come about. She's derelict, that's it.
Derelict?
Abandoned. The crew left her for some reason or other. But instead of sinking, she's gone on, running before every wind.
She'll not run long. Not with these reefs to break her up.
A beautiful ship. Now, why would men leave a beautiful ship like that?
She didn't ram us, although we all expected it. But as we waited for the crash, she luffed again, caught some odd gust, and went about. We watched her the rest of those black hours, heeling and rocking, pushed and pulled by every stray wind, every freak current. Watched her until the dawn came, till the sea turned from black to a pearly gray. And on she came again, heading for us. We all had our glasses trained on her now.
August, you can kill the light.
Right, Chief?
She doesn't look so good by daylight. Think she'll ground this time?
What?
I say, do you think she'll ground this time?
Huh? This is impossible. Absolutely impossible.
What?
Here, take my glasses. They're better than yours.
All right. And what is it you're... I had to focus, and then my breath froze in my throat. The decks were swarming with a dark brown carpet that looked like a gigantic fungus, but undulating. And on the masts and yards, the guys and all were hundreds, no thousands, I don't know, an endless number of enormous rats.
See them?
Yes, I see them.
Now we know why she's derelict.
Yes, now we know.
What are you two doing? Here, give me a look.
Yes, give him the glasses. Take a good look, chatterbox. Give you something to talk about.
She's still heading for us.
Yes.
She's going to turn. She better turn soon.
Suppose she doesn't.
You mean suppose she piles up on the quay?
It's low tide.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Where's all the conversation, August, huh? Here, want the glasses again? Want another look?
No!
She's still coming on.
Go away! Go away!
Turn, will you?
Turn, I say, I pray you, turn! She's cracking up.
The rats! Look! On the water! Like a carpet!
They're swimming.
Sure, they're swimming. Those are ship's rats.
But they're swimming for the rocks.
The door below! It's open!
Come on.
Down we went, racing down the stone stairs, taking them 3 and 4 at a time. Scared? You bet we were scared.
August, you get the windows. Maybe they can climb. We don't know.
Right, Chief! But hurry! Hurry!
Look. See them?
No. Oh, yes, I do. Up at the other end of the rock.
Look at them.
Millions.
They smell us. Here they come. Close the door.
Can't. It's stuck.
Here. Let me.
Oh, move. You move.
Heave.
Made it.
Holy. That was close.
One guy in. Look, there.
Get him!
Watch him. He's kicking. He was as big as a tomcat, bigger. And his eyes were wild and red, his teeth long and sharp and yellow. He went for us, starving, ravenous, and we fought him, fought that one rat all over the room. It was, oh, believe me, I do not exaggerate, it was like fighting a panther.
Got him.
We better get aloft. As we ran up the winding staircase, we passed the tiny windows of the various levels, and at every one was a thick, wriggling, screaming curtain of brown fur. I was ahead of Louis, and I dreaded each successive level. Suppose they had found a way in.
Look at them! Will you look at them?
It's a nightmare.
Will you look at them?
The air of the gallery was thick and fetid with the stink of them. The light was dim, brown, filtered through the crawling mass that swarmed over the glass all about us. We could not see the sky. Nothing but them. Their red eyes, their claws, their wriggling, hairy snouts, and their teeth. The rats. They screamed and howled and threw themselves against the glass. They were starving. And we three, we stood very quietly. Oh, very quietly in the center of the glass room under our beautiful light. And we waited.
What can we do? What can we do, Chief?
Take it easy, old man. Take it easy.
I just can't.
It won't do any. Won't do any good to stand here and shake.
That's right. Anybody want a cigarette?
Yes, I'll have one, thank you.
Good boy. We've got to keep calm about this thing. Here's a light.
They don't like the fire, do they?
Guess not.
Give me another match. You don't like that much, do you? I say?
Don't rile them, August.
Give me some more matches. I'll strike them and strike them and strike them until they get scared and go away.
They won't go away. Not until...
Finish it, Chief. Not until what?
Not until they've been fed.
You can take just so much horror and then you get used to it. And they were interesting to watch, you know. They couldn't understand the glass. They could see us and they could rush at us, but that thin, invisible barrier held them off, stopped them. From time to time, we caught a glimpse of the rocks below. More rats down there, swarming brown velvet in the bright tropical sunlight. And then the tide began to rise. If only it had drowned some of them.
Ship's rats don't drown. No, sir, you cannot drown one of them. They're all climbing up the tower.
This bunch around us is getting thicker.
Say, what's the time?
6:15.
You've got first watch, John.
Right.
Wake me at 10.
I will.
Come along, August.
It was getting dark. One side of the room was lit a soft, filtered red. Sunset through the rats. Oh, very pretty. I set the wicks, checked my fuel, and then lit the lamps. It caught them, lit them in their gigantic wriggling web of pale, hairless bellies, twitching red tails, bright eyes. Then I started the rotary motor. The light drove them mad as she swung slowly and smoothly about. She blinded them in the fierce stabbing bar of light, moving continually about, ever turning, ever touching, ever moving around and around, and they twitching and shuddering, eyes flaming when they were struck by the light. The bright light moving, and behind on the dark side of the room, so close, I dared not turn my back, but you cannot help turning your back when you're in a room made of glass. On the dark side of the room, you could not see them, but only their eyes. Thousands of points of blank red light, blinking and twinkling like the stars of hell. Louis relieved me at 10, but I didn't get much sleep that night, and when I came up into the gallery early next morning, there stood August, his back to me. He was bowing to the rats, waving his arms and making a speech.
I am going to play once again that magnificent role which made me the toast of the Paris theater. Prelate, the evil genius of the medieval underworld. I am he who did guide the dark soul of the Maréchal into the nether paths. Do not be frightened, little children. I will not hurt
turning.
you.
I stood staring at him, horror-struck, but he didn't notice me. The man had gone mad. He kept turning, telling his stories to all the rats, leaving no one out. August! August!
Ah, another one. A latecomer. Take a seat on the aisle, dear patron.
August,
move
stop
over
it,
there.
stop it.
Let the gentleman be
But
seated.
he didn't
Come,
stop.
Come.
He went on, bowing and scraping to the rats, his big blue eyes rolling and winking, his wild red hair waving about him. I grabbed him by the arms and slapped his face. He looked at me like a child. And then his face screwed up. He looked as though he were about to cry. Go below, go on.
Oh, very well then. Later, my dear audience, later. Matinee today.
Sure, he was crazy. But I guess we all were. A few hours later, he came back up and caught Louis and me teasing the rats. Yes, sounds horrible. It was fun. We could get right up against the glass and make faces at them. It drove them crazy. They would scratch away trying to get at our eyes. Louis was even cuter about it. He'd pull a piece of bread out of his pocket and press it against the glass. The rats would scramble into a solid ball, biting each other, clustering like grapes. From time to time, a whole knot of them would slip and fall 110 feet to the surf below.
Look at the sharks!
They're eating them.
The sharks are our friends. Here, I'll get another bunch together. Here, my beauties. That's it. Pile up. Kill each other. There they go!
Auguste joined in, too. Oh, very ingenious Auguste. He learned that if he spread-eagled himself against the glass, they'd bunch and bundle against his figure. Then he'd leap back.
Look! My portrait in rats.
It went on all day, and then I was lying in bed. It was about midnight. I was very tired, and I was just beginning to fall off to sleep when I became conscious of a new sound. Couldn't figure it at first. I got up, lit the lamp, and went to the window. Even as I looked at it, I saw one of the panes begin to sag in. They had eaten the wood away. Louis, come quick!
What is it?
They found a way in. I held the glass with my hand. Now they were all going crazy, and assured of the success of this maneuver, were all nibbling away at the wood. Louis ran below and then returned with a large sheet of tin. We spread it against the window and hammered it into place. Even as we did so, we felt the heavy bodies thudding against the other side as the window gave way.
That ought to hold. If it doesn't, we're done for.
Rats can't eat tin.
No, they can't. What was that?
I don't know.
It came from below.
The storeroom window.
They're in. They're swarming up the stairs.
Drop the trap.
Right.
Two of them got in.
Let's go after them.
We didn't have to go after them. They came at us. I leaped to one side and grabbed a marlin spike, swung, and smashed one in midair.
No!
I whirled to see Louis with the other. It had ripped his hand open, and the blood was pouring all over the place. He held his hand aloft and kicked at the snarling rat. I stepped and swung and got him.
My hand! He got my hand!
That's both of them, Louis. I'll get you something to tie that up.
Blood! Look at it! My blood! I'm bleeding!
Now, don't worry about it, Louis. Here, look. I'll wind this kerchief around it. It'll be okay.
Blood!
There, now. It's not bad, just the flesh. And then I became conscious of another new sound. They were gnawing their way through the wooden trap door. I watched the wood fascinated. Even as I did, it began to give way, and a bristling, whiskery nose showed through. Louis, we've got to go up. Next level was the living quarters and kitchen. I slammed the trap door there, too, but it, too, was wood.
My blood! What are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll be through this one in a moment.
The gallery. The trap door in the gallery is metal.
Good. Come on. We made it. We lay across the trap door, exhausted, while below us the rats took over the entire tower. I could hear them howling and fighting over our food supply, our water, our leather. And all about us, the others screamed and glared in at us, swayed in a tangled mass, hypnotized by the ever-turning light. By morning, the air in the little room was horrible. Until now, we'd been getting air from the tower below. Now that was sealed off, and so was all our food and water. We lay exhausted, panting, waiting. And the hours crawled on. I was almost dozing from fatigue when I saw a sight that brought me too fast.
Would you like to come in, my beauties? Would you? I hold the powers of life and death, and I can let you in, you know.
August was standing by the glass, and in one hand he held a wrench. He was tapping the glass gently, not quite hard enough to break it. I eased myself to my feet and slowly, very slowly, tiptoed toward him.
All I have to do is tap just a little harder.
I found a coil of wire in the toolkit, and I trussed him up, fastened him to a stanchion in the center of the room. Louis was of no help. He lay on his side, looking at his bloody hand, weak and sick as a baby. So there I was, a lunatic and a coward for company, and all about watching our little drama, the rats. The day dragged by. The supply boat wasn't due for another 12 days. I don't know what they could have done if they had come. We had only one way of summoning them, and that was to shoot off distress rockets, but the rockets were 4 floors below. And even if they'd been right there in the gallery, I couldn't have opened a window to fire them. That night, I tended the light, but its flame was devouring our oxygen. The following day, we lay, thirst-tormented, starving, waiting, and the following night, I again tended the light, but the small supply of spare wicking we kept in the gallery had become exhausted, and quite suddenly, about midnight, the light went out. There's nothing I could do. Wicks were stored 3 levels below. Nothing I could do. Nothing. From time to time, I'd strike a match to see the clock. When I did, it lit up the million red eyes about us. All about us. Watching. Waiting. Below, it had grown quiet. They'd cleaned us out, and now they, too, were waiting. All waiting. And then, the rats, quite suddenly, were silent. And then I heard it. And then I saw the sky and the stars. The rats were gone. I went to the glass. Out there on the water, a small freighter, a banana boat, showing a few lights, came softly and innocently at us. The light was out. They didn't know. I wanted to open the windows to call out to them, to warn them somehow, but I was afraid. What if the rats were hiding from me, tricking me? So I waited. She grounded very softly on a reef not 200 yards from the quay. Grounded so gently that the man playing the cornet, was he a passenger or crewman off watch, didn't even stop playing. They tried washing her back off. I could have told them to save their fuel. The tide was rising, would have floated her free. And I waited. That's all. That's the story. The sun came up and there wasn't a rat on the whole quay. Every last one of that terrible army had left us, gone back to sea on their new ship. Auguste, insane asylum, he never recovered. And Louis, they took him into Cayenne where he died of blood poisoning from his bite. Oh, yes. Well, that's the whole of it. And if you'll excuse me now, I must go set my traps. No mouse traps. No rats in this lighthouse, I should say not. Life in the lights isn't bad, but sometimes when I see a strange vessel approaching, I get a little nervous, sure. Somewhere on the seas, there's a little banana boat without a crew. That is, without a human crew.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Three Skeleton Key by George Tadouz, adapted for radio by James Poe and starring Vincent Price as Jean. Supporting Mr. Price were Harry Bartell as August and Jeff Corey as Louis. Sound effects on Three Skeleton Key, created by Cliff Thorsness and executed today by Mr. Thorsness, Gus Bays, and Jack Sixsmith, have been awarded the Best of the Year by Radio and Television Life magazine. Harry Essman was at the control panel, and special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week,
You are swimming for your life in the dangerous waters off the Florida Gulf Coast, about to be smashed by a launch carrying a vicious criminal who must kill you or die himself. And on shore 500 yards away, the police are waiting to arrest you for murder, and there can be no escape.
next week, we escape with an exciting tale of temptation and death on the Gulf Coast of Florida, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in Danger at Matagumba. Goodbye, then, until the same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. A patch of weeds, a boxer's biography, and a mild, lukewarm bath. They're all clues that lead the police of Jackson, Michigan, to a killer in the gangbuster story on CBS this Saturday night. It's the case of the double push, to be heard on most of these same CBS stations this Saturday night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
Mr. Bernard Grant in Skeleton.
No, Jenks, no. Now, look, you know why you can't spend the money. Yeah, but... Hey, I'll call you back. Somebody's at the door. Now sit tight, okay? All right. So long.
Joseph Hanlon,
Yeah?
I knew I'd find you here.
What do you want?
Now, is that any way to welcome anyone who's been looking for you as long as I have?
I don't know you.
My foot's in the door, Mr. Hanlon. Are you trying to break it?
I will if you keep it there.
Naughty.
You can't push your way in here.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
Now, what do you want?
Since you insist, rye, please.
Oh, now look
on
here.
the rocks. I better make it a double. This storm has chilled me to the bone.
Oh, you got your nerve, Buster. Shoving your way in here, demanding... Look, I don't know you.
Don't you really?
No.
Then why are you trembling?
Well, I...
Add a dash of bitters, would you? Well, hurry up, man. I'm frozen. Here, better pour one for yourself, Mr. Henman.
I don't want a drink.
I think you're going to need one.
Look, I just want you to get out of here.
Cheers. Very good.
All right, stop stalling. Now, what do you want and who are you?
You really don't know who I am.
Never seen you before in my life.
Guess. Now, why would any man search for you as long as I had, Mr. Henman?
How should I know?
Then I'll help you remember. Think back a bit, my friend. Think back to a nasty episode in your life. One you thought was finished, over and done with.
Oh, no.
But as you see, Joseph, it is not finished at all. Is it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, I tell you.
Oh, come on, Joseph. You know what you did, and so do I.
Now, look, if it's about the girl, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do it.
No, it wasn't you.
I swear it wasn't. Jenks did it, not me.
Really? How curious he says that he didn't do it either, that it was you.
Well, he's a liar. He's lying, I tell you.
You'd better be able to prove it, Joseph.
Now, look, grabbing Katie Shaw was his idea in the first place. I swear it was.
But you went along with it, didn't you?
Oh, we didn't mean to hurt her.
Oh, didn't you?
Honest, we didn't. Especially after old man promised the ransom money.
And why did it happen?
Look, we had her locked up in the cellar, see? Well, she tried to escape. Jenks caught her getting out the window, and he yelled at her to stop. And she just jumped and ran. And so he took a shot at her to scare her, only he didn't miss.
Oh? And, of course, it was Jenks who fired that shot, not you.
I swear, mister. I don't even own a gun. Jenks, it was his gun.
On your word as a gentleman?
But you gotta believe me. That's how it happened. It's the truth. Now help me.
All right. So you weren't the one who killed Katie. You still kidnapped her.
Yeah,
If
but
you hadn't put your filthy hands on her, Katie would be alive today, wouldn't she?
I never thought...
No, you didn't, did you? All you thought about was the money. The lousy money. And Katie had to die because of your greed.
I ain't slept good since, honest.
That's a great help to Katie, isn't it? And to me.
Who are you, buddy? Was Katie Shaw your girl?
Oh, was Katie Shaw my girl? Oh, no. No, she wasn't just my girl. She was my whole world. We were going to be married. We were going to spend our whole life together.
I'm sorry.
Sure you are. Afterwards. Everybody's sorry. Afterwards.
Hey, how did you find out about me? I mean...
What's the difference? Is that going to bring Katie back to life?
Well, no, but... Hey, did Jenks put you onto me?
Did you think he wouldn't?
Oh, that...
The rats are all alike. You'd sell out your own grandmother to save your miserable skin.
Well, it isn't fair to pin the rap on me. I wasn't the guy that killed her.
Did Katie suffer much before?
Oh, no, mister. She went quick, honest.
Did she say anything? Did she give you any message for me?
No, well, yeah, maybe sort of.
Well, what did she say?
Well, she said to tell you that she loved you, and for you not to be too mad because we really didn't mean to kill her.
You're a liar.
No.
You're a liar.
I swear she said it.
You're going, Charlie, you're choking me. You make my hands dirty.
Now, wait a minute, mister, please. Have a heart.
You had a heart, didn't you? You
Do anything you want.
were a stranger to me. I'd never done anything to you. Yet you took away the most valuable thing in my life. And like a monster, you killed it.
Please, mister, give me a chance.
Like you gave Katie a chance?
Oh, I wish to heaven I had. If I could only have another chance now to grab Jenks' arm when he shot at her.
Oh, you're bringing tears to my eyes. You had your chance, you rat. And you didn't take it. Did you? Did you? I said, did you?
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Yet. I came here to kill you, Joseph. Maybe I just ought to turn you over to the police.
Oh, no, mister, don't do that.
Oh, I thought you wanted to make amends.
Oh, yeah, the cops.
Then you were lying to me, Joseph.
Oh, no, not the cops, mister. Please, they'll burn me. I'll burn.
No, that wouldn't be good, would it?
Oh, no. Thanks, mister. Thanks.
No. Then I wouldn't get to see you die myself, would I?
Oh, please.
I wouldn't get to see your blood run out the way Katie's did.
Oh, give me a break, mister.
Sure I will. With this. I sharpened it this morning. Especially for you.
Don't come at me with that thing.
Are you afraid to die, Joseph?
Yeah, I am.
Maybe now you know what it feels like,
Now you get back, I'll tell you.
Oh, Katie. Katie. Are you watching me?
You're nuts. You're out of your mind, mister.
Say your prayers, Joseph.
Get fast. Get that knife away from me.
Why don't you scream for help, Joseph? Like Katie did. Go ahead.
Huh?
Wouldn't do. Would it, Joseph? Not for a man who's wanted for kidnapping and murder.
Oh, let me go, please. Let me go.
Katie, darling, here he comes. Here comes the man who took you from me, Katie.
Oh, Mother of mercy, no. No. I'll give you anything. Just take that knife away from me, please.
All right. Give me back, Katie.
I give you back a dead girl?
But you kidnapped her. You and Jenks killed her, didn't you?
Oh, we didn't mean to. I told you.
That's where we're different, see? I mean to kill you. It'll make me feel good.
All right. All right, go ahead.
I never thought I'd feel this way. But I'll enjoy killing you, Joseph. I'll enjoy listening to you scream until you die, like Katie.
Kill me. Go on, get it over with.
But killing you wouldn't bring Katie back to me, would it? No matter what I do, I'll never be able to hold her again. Or kiss her.
Thanks for putting that knife away, mister.
Killing you can't undo the harm you've done to me.
No, it can't.
All right. Get your coat.
My coat?
We're going to the police. Did you think I let you go scot-free? After hunting you down to kill you.
But you said yourself it ain't going to bring Katie back if I die. Now, what good is it to you if I burn, mister? What good, huh?
You're still the man who destroyed my future.
Oh, give me a chance to square things, will you? There are ways.
What ways?
Well, I could... Well, like, pay a fine for what I did. To you. You know what I mean?
A fine? What are you talking about?
Look, I admit I did wrong. But all I can do now is pay for it. Make it up to you.
Are you trying to bribe me? With a price for Katie's life?
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like
then
that.
What do you mean?
Well, conscience money, maybe.
Oh, conscience money. Do you think you can buy forgiveness with money?
Well, not buy exactly. And I wouldn't expect you to forgive me.
What would you expect? You'd expect to save your skin for a few dollars?
I'm willing to pay all I can. Out of my share of the ransom money. Now, Jenks got most of it.
Oh, sure he did.
I swear, mister. I was just helping him. I didn't want to be in on it. The whole thing was his job all the way.
So you want me to barter revenge for cash? Is that it?
You can't spend revenge. Now, look. A guy dead is good for nothing, right? But if you can punish him with a fine, you've got your revenge and something else besides, right?
All right.
So what do you say?
As one practical man of the world to another?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now, money isn't everything, but well, it dries a lot of tears, huh?
Yes, Joseph. I suppose it does. Maybe all my tears weren't for Katie herself. Her father had promised us a very nice wedding present. $20,000.
That's a lot of dough. No wonder.
No wonder. I'm so furious at you for killing her. Is that what you're thinking?
That's a lot of dough.
Yes. Yes, maybe you're right. Maybe that was the real reason I felt like killing you. And still do.
But I can't offer you that kind of money. But, how about $500,000?
Speak English.
500, all cash. I got it right here.
Is that what you think your life is worth?
700?
I'm still hoping you'll force me to kill you.
Now, don't take that knife out again. All right. $1,000. But that's it. I ain't got no more.
All right. Get it.
Sure. Right away. Now, here's the $1,000. You want to count it?
No. I trust you, Joseph.
Thanks.
Now, if it's all there, you're rid of Katie and me for good. If it isn't, I'll be back to kill you.
Oh, it's all there, I swear. Count it.
All right. All right. You can sleep peacefully now, friend. I bought your guilt. The crime against Katie is mine now. All mine.
Now, remember, we made a bargain. No going to the cops.
Oh, you have my word. Good night, Joseph.
Good night. Mister? Airline. Enter. Ah, here. Inter-American? I want to reserve 2 seats on your next flight to Mexico City. 10:40? Okay. Oh, for John Jones and Tom Smith. Yeah.
Oh, you again, huh?
Any objections, Mr. Janitor?
Not if you got another tent spot.
You mean like this?
Yeah. Now, you want 3 more names of bachelors who live alone in a building, huh?
Why, you are positively clairvoyant.
Yeah. What do you want all them names for, mister?
I'm selling sewing kits.
Ha ha.
You took my money, Mr. Janitor.
I'm a custodian, mister.
Pardon me, Mr. Custodian.
All right. Try Sam Cooper. He's in 7B. And Maurice Ball. He's in 3N. And Harold Kent in 6K.
Sam Cooper?
Yeah?
I knew I'd find you here.
Hey, who are you? What do you want?
I've been looking for you for a long time, you know.
I never saw you before in my life.
My foot's in the door, Mr. Cooper. Are you trying to break it?
Hey, get out of here. I'll call a cop.
No, you won't. You've got too much to lose, Mr. Cooper.
What are you talking about?
You know, Mr. Cooper. Now, why do you suppose any man would search for you as long as I have?
I don't know.
Let me help you remember. Think back a bit, my friend. Think back to a nasty episode in your life. One you thought was finished, over and done with.
No. Oh, no, it isn't possible.
But it is, you see. Your past has caught up with you, Mr. Cooper.
Hey, look, I didn't know she was married. I swear I didn't. It was only when it was too late that she said anything about a husband and kids. I just swear to you, mister, I didn't have the faintest idea.
Lawrence? I hope I didn't wake you, honey. Oh, terrific. Fish are biting like mad today. I did 5 scenes, all in one apartment house. Oh, solid, sweetheart. Skeletons rattle like mad, right out of the closets. Well, 1,000 in cash from a real live one. 400 more in checks. What? No. Well, not bad for a couple of hours' work. Sure, we're celebrating. Phone the store for reservations. We're spinning up a storm tonight. Oh, now, sweetheart, will you get over that piggy bank complex? Now, look, we've got it made. There's a solid gold skeleton in every guy's closet. And I know just how to rattle it.
Jenks? Joe Hamlin. Now listen, we're in big trouble. You know that guy you put onto me? Oh, come on. You know who I mean. Stop snowing me, pal. You mean you didn't think on me? Well, what do you know? This guy pulled a knife on me, and I bought him off with $1,000 of the ransom money. Well, certainly I know the cops are watching for the bill numbers. Why do you think I told you to cool the money? All right. Look, listen, will you? Now, pack fast and meet me at the Inter-American Terminal. We're cutting out for Mexico City. Yeah. Let that blackmailing rat explain to the cops why he's spending the ransom dough.
Theater 5, 4.5 hours of dramatic radio theater continues after Weekend West, coming up in just a moment here on Radio 81.
Theater 5 has presented Skeleton, starring Mr. Bernard Grant. Written by Jules Archer, directed by Warren Somerville. Featured in the cast, Stan Watt, Arthur Cole, and Peter Rattray. Script editor, Jack C. Wilson. Original music by Alexander Vlastotsenko. Orchestra under the direction of Glenn Osser. Executive producer for Theater 5, Mr. Lee Bowman. We invite your comments. Write to Theater 5, New York 23, New York. That's Theater 5, New York 23, New York.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program.
Hey everyone, Waddle from Watchwaddle here. Hope you're all enjoying today's radio show, and don't forget to check out some of Watchwaddle's tunes. So round, so firm, so fully packed with hits.
Screwy Forest's Watchwaddle cartoons. Available on Channel Watchwaddle.
Good evening. This is Sergeant X. They say that ghosts and the like just don't exist. That when a person passes on, he just lies quietly, not bothering another soul, so to speak. You believe that, don't you? Mm-hmm. Well, did you ever hear about the skull that walked? No? Then listen, my friends, to the Mystery Playhouse. I guess superstition's a pretty hard thing to down completely, isn't it? I mean, under certain circumstances, almost anybody can get the creeps and get them good. I guess most of us are a little bit afraid of the unknown. For instance, taking a midnight stroll through a graveyard isn't exactly your idea of fun, is it? And I don't suppose you'd particularly go into ecstasies if you happen to witness a good gory murder, either. Well, there's a fellow I know who thinks this all comes under the heading of good, clean fun. His hobby is horror, and he likes to tell stories along those lines. I think he has one for you right now. Wait till I try this door here.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is Raymond, your host. Well, come in, won't you? Yes, how are your spirits this evening? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Our spirits are fine, too. Would you like to see them? Oh, it's no trouble at all. Now, which would you care to see first? The spirit or the body? Oh, well, the body is right over there on the floor. And the spirit is right next to it. Oh, you can't see it. I forgot to tell you, you have to be one in order to see one. Shall we get started? Well, naturally. Now, turn out the lights. No, you won't see any ghosts in the dark, but they'll be able to see you. Far from town, there are a group of 3 hills. On the summit of the highest of them is the Cruz estate, owned by 2 brothers, Arthur and Carl. At this moment, Carl and his wife, Lucille, are digging a hole at the entrance of the estate, planting young poplar trees.
Carl, I think it's deep enough.
Oh, I think we ought to go a little deeper down.
Oh, here comes Spears.
You're digging?
Yes, we're going to plant a whole row of Lombardy poplars.
You mean right here?
Yep. We're going to line both sides of the road.
Well, perhaps you'd better let me do it. I'm your caretaker. I should do the gardening.
Spears, you look upset. What's the matter?
Well, where you're digging is an old Indian burial spot. There's a curse on it.
Oh, don't worry about it, Spears.
You don't believe it?
Of course not. Lucille and I don't go in for superstition.
Yes, but it's no superstition, sir. It's...
You hit a rock.
Oh, that sounds like a rock. It's a little hollow. Dig it up, whatever it is. Yeah. What?
Carl! It's a skull.
Yes. A skull. Spears is right. This place must have been an old Indian burial ground.
Please put it back.
No, I'll keep it.
Carl, perhaps you'd better put it back.
Please bury it again, Mr. Cruz. It will bring bad luck to all of us.
No, Spears, that's just a silly superstition.
Well, what about the rest of the skeleton?
Well, there doesn't seem to be one. No. Just a skull. You bring it into the house, will you, Spears?
Oh, I'd rather not.
All right, I'll take it in myself. But don't either of you mention this to my brother Arthur. He's terribly scared of things like this, and he's just gotten over his nervous breakdown.
Carl, perhaps you should put the skull back.
Why, Lucille, you're not being taken in by this hokum about curses, are you?
Oh, that sounded like my wife, Mary. She was cleaning the windows.
Good heavens. She fell out of the window.
Mary. Well, she's unconscious. Please do something. You must do something.
I'm afraid there's nothing we can do, Spears. She hit her head against a rock. She's dead.
How, Spears?
He's quieted down.
I can't understand it. There's only one rock underneath the window, and Mary hit that. That one rock. There isn't even a pebble around for yards.
Well, don't go imagining things again, Arthur.
Spears kept talking about a curse.
Spears believes in pixies and gremlins, too, don't forget.
Well, I feel rather funny about it all.
Oh, Carl, maybe you'd better switch some more lamps on. This living room feels gloomy.
Oh, let's cut this nonsense out.
Wait. You hear anything?
Oh? No, I don't.
Yes. I think it's coming from the ceiling.
What's coming from the ceiling? I don't hear...
What is it?
It must be the beams. They sometimes do that from the heat.
It's not the beams. It's too regular a sound.
What room is directly above us?
It's an old bedroom. We use it as a storeroom now. It hasn't been open in years.
There's something up there.
Of course there is. A lot of old things from years back, Lucille.
Did you put the skull in the storeroom?
Yes, I did.
What are you two whispering of? It's coming down the stairs.
We'll take a look and settle this. So far.
Look!
At your feet, Carl.
The skull. How did it get down here?
It came down the steps.
Seems to be looking up at us.
A skull. How did it get into the house?
Carl found it while digging. Spears said it belonged to some Indian.
Spears was right. There is a curse on the house. We'll all be killed. I'm leaving. I can't stand it.
Well, Carl, what are you going to do with the skull?
Well, lock it up in the closet. Lock it.
Carl, you'd better bury it again.
No, I can't do that, Lucille. If I do, it means I believe in all this tummy rot about ghosts.
Well, then suppose you tell me how a skull could open a door and then come bouncing down the steps.
I don't know. Maybe someone's playing a trick on us, dear.
What happened to Mary was no trick, Carl. Nor is this, and you know it.
Well, whatever it is, I'm not going to bury it. We'll keep it locked up in the closet.
Oh, Mr. Cruz.
Yes. What is it, Spears?
Well, it isn't my place to tell you, sir, but
You're referring to the skull, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, it won't bother us anymore. The whole thing's some queer trick. I've got it safely hidden in this closet. I'm putting a lock on the outside.
But the lock isn't going to do any good, sir. It will break through the door, just like the last time.
I don't think anything like that can happen again. I'm the only one that has a key to this lock. If the skull wants to break out, you'll have to come to me for the key. How are you feeling, Arthur?
I'll never feel right in this house again.
Oh, nonsense. Why don't you put a light on? Arthur, it's morbid sitting here in the dark by yourself.
We're all going to die.
Don't be ridiculous, Arthur.
Where is the skull?
Where it can't get out. Tomorrow I'll take it into town and let the police look at it.
Tomorrow will be too late.
Look, I'm getting tired of this. You've got to get hold of yourself, Arthur. You'll go completely to pieces.
You think I'm a coward, don't you?
Oh, Arthur, no. You're not a coward. You're just a victim of your own exaggerated imagination.
Wait. There's someone at the door.
I'll open it.
Who is it?
I don't know. No one came in.
Something came in. For heaven's sake, put the light on.
The skull. I can't believe it.
You can't believe it. There it is, grinning at you from the floor, but you can't believe it. You don't believe in these things.
I put a lock on the door.
Locks aren't going to help. Nothing is going to help. We're all going to die.
It's an hour later now. Arthur has gotten over his hysteria, but he is still terrified.
I'm not going to spend another night in this house, Carl.
But, Arthur, there's got to be some logical explanation.
I'm not in the least bit curious. I just want to get out of here tonight.
I'm going to go with him, Carl.
Lucille. Well, perhaps we'll bury it again. We'll put it back in the same place we found it.
That won't do any good. It's too late now.
Don't be ridiculous. If it wants anything at all, it wants to get buried again. I'm sure all this mysterious business will come to an end as soon as we bury it.
The house won't ever be the same.
Oh, stop it. Both of you. You're acting like a couple of scared children. We'll put the skull back where we found it, and we won't be bothered by it anymore. Spears! Spears!
Yes, Mr. Cruz.
This skull. Let's take it out, bury it. In the same place where we found it.
Oh, I'm glad you reconsidered, sir. It's the only way.
I don't seem to remember the spot.
Well, it's on the other side, sir, right near the entrance road.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Here it is.
Yeah. But the hole we dug, it's not here.
I filled it in, sir.
Oh, well, we'd better dig it up.
Yes, sir.
If you'll hold the skull, I'll dig it open. We might as well do it right. I know exactly how deep it was.
If you don't mind, Mr. Cruz, I'd rather not touch the skull.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Now we'll put the thing back.
Well, it doesn't seem to want to go back.
Oh, I just missed dropping it into the hole. Hold the flashlight down here.
Yes, sir.
Well, that does it.
Oh, I hope we'll have no more trouble.
Well, Carl, did you bury it?
Yes, same place. That's all. Forget about it, shall we?
Maybe it's easy for you, Carl. But I won't forget about it for a long time.
Neither will I. I'll be having nightmares about it for months.
I don't know what's gotten into you, Lucille. You were never easily frightened.
I'm not. But skulls that roll by themselves give me a funny feeling.
Now, look, come on, let's play cards, huh? Hearts? We don't need more than 3 hands to play. We'll forget the whole crazy business, huh? Okay?
I might as well.
All right, deal the cards.
Okay. You. Yeah, well, we're getting back to normalcy, huh?
Arthur, pass your card.
That wind came up suddenly.
Who's first?
You are, Lucille.
Oh, all right. 9 of diamonds.
Your go, Arthur. Come on, Arthur, throw a card.
I think I hear something.
Of course you do. The wind.
No, I thought I heard a rapping sound.
Look, just pay attention to the game and stop listening for sounds.
Here's my card.
You threw a club, diamonds the suit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear that?
What was that?
It's only the wind blowing the shutter. Oh, come on, let's play. Throw a card, Arthur.
There's someone at the door.
It isn't the wind. Someone's outside.
All right, I'll open the door.
No, don't open it.
Please, Lucille. Sitting here frightened isn't going to do us any good. We've got to open the door.
Don't open it, Carl.
Who is it, Carl?
What? It was nothing. It's just the wind.
You're lying. Your face is white as a sheet.
I know. It's the skull. It's come back.
I tell you, it's nothing. It just the wind. Nobody was there.
I'll see for myself. The skull.
Oh, Mrs. Cruz, I didn't hear you knock.
I didn't. I want to talk to you, Spears.
Yes, Mrs. Cruz, but it's rather late.
You've been up late before.
Oh, yes, but it's just that I'm tired tonight. I don't mean to be rude.
You've been doing a lot of night work?
What are you referring to, Mrs. Cruz?
Spears, you don't really believe in skulls that move around by themselves, do you?
Well, I warned your husband about it. It's a curse.
Is it part of a curse for a skull to use a trowel to unbury itself? Your trowel?
My trowel? Why, you're mistaken.
No, I'm not. I just came from there.
Why would I want to do anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Why? That's why I'm here. I'd like to know why.
Please, Mrs. Cruz, I'm tired. We'll talk about it in the morning.
We'll talk about it now, Spears, right now.
Get out of my room.
All right. I'm going straight to the police. I've got the trowel. We'll see if the skull left any fingerprints.
You won't do that, Mrs. Cruz.
Oh, yes, I will. All right, Spears, just sit right where you are or I'll shoot.
Oh, please. Put the gun down.
Start talking.
Why, it's all a mistake.
If you don't start talking, I'll shoot. In self-defense. Did you dig up that skull?
Why, I...
Did you?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And you rolled the skull down the steps. The first night it was in this house, didn't you?
Well, it was only a joke.
And you also managed to open the closet.
Yes, but I...
Whose skull is it?
I don't know.
You're lying. That skull has something to do with you. I checked up on it. Your first wife disappeared. Perhaps the police can identify the skull.
Oh, please, don't go to the police. Well, it was my first wife, Jane. I killed her. I didn't want your husband to bring the skull to the police, so I tried to scare all of you away from here as the safest measure.
Go on.
Yet, wait a minute. Who rolled the skull into Arthur's room? It wasn't me. It must have
That's
been...
right. It was me. Perhaps you and I can work things out. I tried to frighten my dear brother-in-law Arthur away so that I can have complete ownership of the entire estate. You see, Arthur is leaving tonight.
Yeah. Perhaps we can help each other. No one has to know of our little conversation.
No one is going to know.
Well, now that we've both accomplished our purpose, maybe it would be the best thing to bury the skull again.
Yes. We'll do it now.
Well, here we are.
Let's hurry. They'll miss me if I'm out here too long.
Perhaps we'd better dig another hole.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Will you hold the skull?
No, I'd rather not.
You haven't suddenly gotten squeamish, have you, Mrs. Cruz?
Put the skull in the ground and dig that hole.
All right. What's the matter?
The skull. Look at it.
What about it?
It's moving. Can't you see?
Well, it is just the wind pushing it.
Hurry up.
There. Yes, there. It's deep enough now. Hand me the skull. Oh, I forgot. You won't touch it. All right, I'll get it myself.
What's the matter?
My hand. I can't get my hand out. The jaws clamped down.
Your hand.
Please, help me. You've got to help me. Do something. You've got to do something. It won't let go.
I can't.
Oh, please, Jane. Jane, darling. I didn't mean to kill you. You're my wife. I didn't mean it. It was an accident. Please believe me. I'll do anything. Anything. Oh, no. No, Jane. No. Oh.
How is she, Carl?
Arthur, it's pretty bad. The doctor says it's hopeless. There's nothing more he can do. Her hair, Arthur, it's turned completely white. She's just out of her mind.
Horrible.
Spears died this morning. He never recovered consciousness. Died of fright.
Everything else seems to make sense, but I don't understand how the skull could have clamped its jaws on his hand.
When he picked it up, he must have picked it up upside down. The lower jaw, which swings on a hinge, came down. He was so frightened that his hand froze to the skull. Spears was just frightened to death.
I want that skull. Yes, sir, I want it as a knocker for the inner sanctum door. Good night. Pleasant dreams.
Well, thank you very much, friend Raymond. Your sense of humor is really quite refreshing. That is, in a ghoulish sort of way. We'll be trying your creaking door again soon for some more laughs. Well, right now, let's look in on the green room where the players are rehearsing the next performance in the Mystery Playhouse. Follow me, please. Come.
What a crowd. Say, Dexter, how's it feel to be both a spy-catching hero and a prospective bridegroom at the same time?
At the moment, it feels like being the 13th sardine in a tin built for 12.
The doghouse is always like this.
Hey, finish your story, Stanley, about Dexter reporting the German agent, that, what's his name?
Courts.
Courts, huh?
Well, Dexter here figures that Courts is up to something, so he tips off the FBI.
Hey, you guys, take a look at that gal in the black dress.
That's fine talk for a guy who's about to get married.
Well, go on, Stanley. Dexter's only trying to change the subject.
Well, following up Dexter's tip, the federal men trapped Courts. That was 6 weeks ago. So today, in 3 minutes, in fact, Courts is going to get quite a shock. Quite a shock.
You mean they're going to...
That's right. At 6 o'clock, that'll be less than 3 minutes now, Courts is being electrocuted. You ought to read the newspapers, Lieutenant, and find out about things.
Well, when you've just got back from the canal zone, you're likely to neglect the newspapers for the first few days.
Hey, the gal behind us.
What'd you say, Dexter?
The gal behind us. One in the black dress.
Oh. Mob's too thick. I can't even turn around to get a look at her. Hey, go on, Stanley. What was this court's after?
Plans of a new type mortar, wasn't it, Dexter?
Mortar?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, don't be such a clam.
But it's taboo, I tell you.
Well, don't get sore about it.
Oh, who's sore? Come on. Let's get out of this mob and find some less crowded joint, huh?
Oh, take it easy. Let's have at least one drink here now we finally got to the bar.
Ouch! Ooh, what the heck?
What's the matter, Dexter? Somebody step on your corns?
Oh, no, it felt like someone stuck a needle in my hand, but the way I'm wedged in here, I can't even lift my hand to see.
Probably a pin scratched you, with all these women about.
Hey, Dexter, according to the clock on the wall there, Court is being executed right this second.
Say, it's kind of close in here. Let's get out and get some fresh air, huh?
Take a look in the mirror over the bar, Stanley. That woman behind me. That's what Dexter's been muttering about. The brunette in black. Smooth. Hey, do you know her?
What makes you think I know her?
Well, I thought she nodded at you.
Just my natural good looks. I never saw her before in my life.
It's kind of close in here. Let's get out. I can hardly breathe.
Oh, stop clowning, Dexter. Quit leaning on me.
What's eating, Dexter? Just because he's going to be married in 3 days.
You shouldn't have mentioned marriage, Stanley. From the way he's leaning on me, he must have fainted.
That's alder fright.
Come on, Dexter. Take your weight off him. All I can do is take care of myself and... This... Say, Stanley... He has fainted or something. No kidding.
Oh, Dexter's a practical joke.
No, this isn't a joke. He's all gray about the lips. Huh? Look at him. I mean, hold him. He's falling. Oh, Dexter! Dexter, what's the matter? Dexter!
Lieutenant, is he all right?
What's the matter with him, mister?
Is he all right?
No, he isn't. I think he's dead.
Well, it's impossible.
Is there a doctor here?
Open his collar or something. Just don't let him lay there. Come on.
I'll be right there.
Over here, Doc.
Back up, please. Let the doctor through.
Lieutenant, what on earth's happened?
Where's the doctor? Maybe he can tell us. Hey, doctor, go over here.
Crowd. Here, let's have a look. Oh, help me turn this man over.
Sure. There.
Looks like he's been suffocated.
Doctor, is he dead?
Oh, yes, he's dead, all right.
He can't be. Only a minute ago, he was standing here talking with us.
He said something about somebody sticking a needle in his hand.
What's that piece of black paper on the back of his right hand?
Yeah, what?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's thin black cardboard. Perfect circle about 1/4 inch in diameter. With a tiny hole in the exact center.
Well, that's a funny.
There's a small puncture in the skin on the back of the right hand. Right over the place where this circular piece of cardboard was. A drop of blood caused the cardboard to adhere to his hand. Somebody better call the police.
The police? Why?
Because it looks as if your friend here has been murdered.
But Dexter couldn't have been murdered. I was standing right beside him all the time.
No one's to leave. Everybody stay right where you are. And you over there, call the police department and ask for homicide.
I'm Detective Sergeant Locke. Are you the doctor who called headquarters?
Yes, that's right.
Who's the guy on the floor? What happened to him?
Willard Dexter. As to what happened to him...
We don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Who was nearest Dexter at the time?
Well, the lieutenant and I were with him.
And I was behind him, and so was this lady.
Oh, you were, huh? How about that, lady?
Yes, I guess that's right.
Okay, then I want to take you two ladies, and you, Lieutenant, and you, mister, aside for questioning. You'll go in this office here. Oh, and Doc, would you come along, too, please?
Well, of course, Sergeant.
All right, just step in. All right, Blondie, you too.
Oh, I can't. I got a date in 10 minutes.
Go on, get in there.
Am I arrested?
Are you up? Look, Blondie, you will be in just about 1 second if you don't get in there.
Oh, all right. But don't call me Blondie.
Hey, Durkin, don't let anyone in here.
Right.
Now, we'll get a little privacy. Lieutenant, let's have your story first.
Well, we were standing in the crowd.
Your name?
Lieutenant Max Lurbach.
Okay, go ahead.
Stanley and Dexter and I were at the bar.
In what order?
Order? Well, Dexter was on the right. I was in the middle, and Stanley was on the left.
All right, go on.
Dexter said that someone stuck a needle in his hand. And then suddenly he went limp and fell to the floor.
Sergeant, on the back of his right hand, I found this little black cardboard disc.
Huh?
Under the disc is a small wound, and I've made a study of poisons. I believe that this man, Dexter, was poisoned.
Poison?
Yes.
There's a poison which, taken internally, may do no harm at all. But the smallest bit introduced directly into the bloodstream causes almost immediate paralysis of the nerves which control the breathing.
What poison?
Curare.
Huh?
There's a trace of what seems to be curare on the underside of that black cardboard disc.
Then you think he was murdered?
It appears probable.
Your idea, Doctor, is that someone jabbed a poison-coated needle into Dexter's hand?
A minute or so before he collapsed.
Now, where would a guy get this stuff?
Well, certainly not from the average drugstore. Curare is made by the South American Indians. It's a very rare in this country.
Say, Stanley, did you notice? Dexter died at the same time Quartz was executed.
Say, I hadn't thought
What's that? The spy who was electrocuted?
Yes, Sergeant. Dexter was the clerk in the Army Ordnance Department who suspected Quartz and tipped off the FBI.
Yeah?
It couldn't have been a coincidence that they both died at practically the same minute. You don't suppose that
I
some
don't
German agent...
suppose anything yet.
Hey, Sarge. Photo and fingerprint boys are here.
Right with you, Durgan. Now, everyone, just sit tight a minute.
Say, that's a rather unusual way to kill somebody, don't you think? I wonder if that police sergeant is right, and the killer really is one of those 4 people. Well, it's too bad our time is all up, or we could stay around and find out. I'm afraid you'll have to wait until next time when we present the entire story of Death in the Doghouse. This is Sergeant X closing the doors of the Mystery Playhouse. Good night. Sleep tight. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Thanks for watching the Bah Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons with no static.